What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. This is Johann Francis from CoachJohannCSCS.com. This is another ProDev course specifically designed to help professionals in training and nutrition get better. Okay? So, today we're going to talk about calculating macros for strength. And this, of course, is a nutrition skills lesson. Guys, we're going to do a little bit of calculating macros. We want to answer this question right here, okay? How important are your ratios? So, in order for us to answer it, we need to consider that your macro ratios are very meta. So, I know for me personally, it was about 6 years ago when I started to hear one of my trainees talk about one trainer paying attention to macros versus another who paid attention to micros, you know? And for me personally, I wasn't really surprised. I had been paying attention to my macros for many years. Since 2007, I had been using it as a means of getting my trainees the best results, right? So I didn't think it was a whole, culture. I thought it was the best way that we can break down our macros. Specifically, if we're looking to meal plan, that's the big one. But yeah, for weight loss and workouts too, but mainly for meal planning. For variety, okay? So macros are the meal plan, not just a portion of it. Your macronutrients are your meal plan, are that throwaway diet that we get, told to buy, okay? And we always want to start with protein adjustments when we're adjusting our macros. So what are they? They're macronutrients. The short word is macros. If you're cool, if you're on the scene, if you're hip, you say macros. Macronutrients. They're the 4 big biological compounds inside of our system which contribute calories, right? Here they are for our metabolism. Okay? So we break them down into those 4 because they provide calories. Okay, like we just said, and they're alike. Okay, they're alike. So one type of macro is completely alike with another set because their constituent parts share charge, solubility, structure, or just relative size. So proteins are made of peptides, right? And if you go to CoachJohannCSCS.com/courses, right, go to the middle of the screen. Go to courses, you can see I break down all of this, right? Also in the nutrition certification. So basically they're peptides, they're hydrocarbons, where nitrogen's added, and they contribute, this is the most important part, 4 calories per gram. So do carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram. But they're saccharides. They're kind of shaped like this in the background. They're kind of almost ringed, okay? Fats all share the fact that they form into these globules that are hydrophobic. They don't like water, okay? And they're fatty acids. Those are fats that contribute 9 calories per gram. The last macro that we don't adjust for typically, but does carry caloric impact, is alcohol at 7 calories per gram. They are hydrocarbons, but they are attached to a somewhat fatty glycerol chain. So just know, we're not going to do organic chemistry today, guys, but just know that they are 7 calories per gram and they look a little different. They're like a mix between a fat and a carbohydrate. Macros are big, micros are small. Okay, just by the name alone, you can figure that one out for yourself. So the micros are vitamins, the micros are minerals, which have their own breakdowns, right? Fat soluble or water soluble, trace or broad minerals. But today we're doing macros. We want to calculate the macros, right? We want to figure out how much protein do I need every day? How much carbohydrates do I need if I eat 2,000 calories? That's what calculating our macros means, okay? So we need to change body composition and assist strength always. We're never, ever wanting to reduce strength, We want to keep it the same or increase always, which is why you guys know I hate diets for that reason. That's the second reason. The first reason is that there's no variety, which kills the process of eating and choosing meals. But the second reason that I don't like diets is that one right there. So here are existing ratios for weight loss, lean mass building, and energy. Okay, these are their recommended calculations. So according to NHANES, which is just this big epidemiological study where they go in and they say, hey, you, and hey, your cousin and your girlfriend, and then they go to another family and they recruit 3 of them and they track their eating for a good year. Back in the days, NHANES 1 was like 5 years, 2 was another 5 years. This is just basic nutrition, epidemiology, a long-term study. Don't worry about it. Just know that it recorded what Americans ate. Okay, and they noticed this were the macros. So typically we see that this is what you eat when you just don't practice breaking down your macros or meal planning and you're not really exercising for gains. 37% fat, 47% carbohydrates, and just not enough protein. Okay, before we cover more into that, now you know what a basic macro breakdown would be. Here's how to get to a macro breakdown. You're going to find your base, go to the website, coachjohannscscs.com, click calculate, find your base after you plug in the numbers on the calculator. Take that number, grab your calculator, right, and then punch this in, 2000 or whatever that base number is, times 0.65 if you want 65% carbohydrates, divide by 4. That's your grams. Do the same thing for protein if you want 20% protein and you want 15% fat. Of course, with protein, you divide by 4 and fats by 9. But as you can see, if I wanted a 65%, 20% protein, and 15, this is what I would eat, is 300 grams of carbohydrates, 100 of protein, 33 for fats, guys. And we'll cover more about it at the end of the lesson here, but that's how you calculate it. So now that we know how to calculate it, this is what you would get if you were doing a Paleolithic diet induction phase. Okay? I've seen them. I don't recommend it. I think this is unbelievably irresponsible for people to eat, let alone for some professional to suggest that you eat, but I've read it with my own 2 eyes. Here's the dark blue is fat. Here's the bright one is protein. 20% protein. Okay, that's not outrageous, but this is certainly outrageous. Largely ridiculous, guys. Do not do this. And 10% carbs. That's one type of ratio calculation. Okay. Another type would be a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that have come up in the industry when they're on their preseason. They'll start getting in more protein, right? Maybe you've seen Pumping Iron where they're eating almost, undercooked hamburgers, right? They're going to get a lot of carbohydrates and some fat. Here's your zone diet. Okay, I brought this one up because it's specifically designed to keep your macro ratios in check. 40% for carbs, everything else is 30%. So this is has its pluses and minuses. As you know, guys, I'm not for any diet, right? Any of them that you can buy in a book, read about. But this is what the zone looks like. And again, I have my reasons for it. You can go to the website, figure out why, right? Read the articles. But this is what I do recommend folks who are training with me and they're training 4 times a week with me or 5 times a week total. Okay? 25% protein, not that much fat, 60 carbs. Right? So this is pretty good. Gives you enough fuel. Definitely hitting the suggested amount of protein for athletes, right? This is what I want to start you out with. Okay? So guys, how to calculate your macros. Once you figure out your goal, one of these, you're going to attack your protein first. You're going to go to the website, hit calculate, find your base, find that number after you punch in your stats. Then you're going to say, hey, I need 10, 15, 17% of my base as protein. I start with protein because that's the macronutrient I'm most focused on getting more of. And I just multiply that percentage by my base. So 2,000, right? 1,800 times this with my calculator, of course, have your protein. Divide by 4 if you want the grams, or you keep it in calories. I would say go with grams. Then you're just going to go back after you set that number at 20 and do the other 2 carbohydrates, then fat. Typically, and again, I invite you guys to never go above 20% fats, ever. Not for any reason. I don't think there is a real reason to do that. Ever. Okay, so it starts with protein, and here you can see everything adjusts after you do the red protein. There's a lot of reasons for this, mainly because you never look to get less and less protein in your diet. That's almost never a thing. Whereas it could be for fats and carbohydrates. You always look to adjust your protein first. You're either getting more or you're getting average amounts, never none or less, right? So if you need me to do this for you, I would be glad to. Just go to the website, coachjohanncss.com, or you can even go to Facebook and join us at Run the Change here at coachjohanncss.com, and I will get you a meal plan, okay? Coaches, even students. Thank you guys for checking this out. Let me know what questions you have. Till the next one, stay up.